Good to have you with us. Now, back in March, Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga claimed there was a significant progress in dealing with the school infrastructure backlog. But I'm afraid this morning we're going to report that it's not at all the case. NGO Equal Education also not convinced, especially when it comes to issues of education down in the Eastern Cape. Let me give you some money. The provincial department returned, that's right, gave back over 200 million rand to National Treasury in 2022. Now, this is very important because if departments give money back to National Treasury, back into the fiscus, it means they don't get to spend that money again for the next year. So where's 200 million rand gone? Not anywhere, apparently. The department even spending almost 14 million rand on a school. This is in Beaufort West. Here's the issue. It was never completed. What happened? Equal Education Eastern Cape Organiser Itumeleng Motlhabane joining us this morning. Itumeleng, good morning to you. Appreciate the time. Where is this school? Does it even exist?
Eyabantu High School is in Fort Beaufort. It's a school that was started in 2018 with the hope that it will be finished this year, 2023. There was previously an inappropriate building that was then put down by the department. They erected temporal structures in the department and in the school, and there was a constructor that started building. So in 2020, when COVID hit, that contractor left site claiming it was not paid by the Eastern Cape Department of Education. Since then, 3 years has passed and we have had nothing from the Department of Education about them bringing a new contractor or any means to make sure that the infrastructure in Eyabantu High School is fixed. Now, what is shocking to us is that when we look at the Vuleka Mali website, which is the website for National Treasury that details budgets for infrastructure projects that are in South Africa at large, but we were looking specifically at projects that are in the Eastern Cape, and you find that for Eyabantu High School, 13.7 million has already been spent in putting down. It's only the foundation block it's only foundation for the administration block and the temporal structures that were provided that are in that school. So we are saying this is poor spending from the department. It can't cost that much to put foundation for one admin block and also temporal structures. But also, why is the department silent after so much money has been spent in that school? Why are they not coming back to finish that project? Because what is happening now is that the school is getting dilapidated. Community members are stealing some of the things that were to be used for the buildings, and the learners were affected by the floods. The zinc structure that was supposed to be temporal is now being the only infrastructure they have in their school, and that threatens their lives.
Let's talk about the students for a moment, because you made it very clear, Itumeleng, that it doesn't look like a 13.7 million rand structure. No foundation is going to cost you 13.7 million. We'll get onto the department and communications, or the lack thereof, in a moment. How many pupils in this area is this now affecting by not having this school completed? Are there other schools in the area they can go to, or are they now simply not going to school? I'll tell you why, because earlier Tumza spoke to Christopher Papas, and we're talking about the lack of the school feeding program. And now we've got an issue where pupils might not even be going to school in the Eastern Cape. So give me a sense, this school, how many pupils would it be serving if it were functioning?
Okay, the school is actually functioning, but it's functioning in a temporal zinc structure, which we know that by the law of norms and standard for public school infrastructure, it was declared inappropriate in 2016. So the school continues in that zinc structure. However, when we look at the construction, there is nothing happening. So and the numbers in that school range, I think it's about 358 from what the principal was telling us.
Let's talk about the lack of communication. So you say during COVID-19, the construction company left. They weren't being paid, they claimed. You say that the department is not doing anything to finish the structure with all this money. Have you been in contact with them? Have they ignored you? Have they made empty promises? What have they done, or what have they not done?
Yes. So with some of the pictures you were showing, that is a different school. It's Imikai High School that is in King Williamstown, that was allocated 500,000 for 500,000, 500,000 for refurbishments. But as you can see in those pictures, that there is nothing that has happened. So yesterday we had a round table where we invited SGB members and learners from these schools where we have identified poor spending. And we have said that you must sit down in front of the department and they must make commitment to look into the issue of these schools. So right now, we do have a working relationship with the Eastern Cape Department of Education where we meet for our quarterly meetings. And in particular, for this quarterly meeting, we invited members and we were discussing the issue of poor spending in the department and projects where there was money allocated, but it seems like there is no difference. So we want to trace where did the money go? And that's the question that Equal Education members are asking the department. So the department has made a commitment in schools like Eyabantu and Imikai High School to say by today, end of business day, they will trace whether payments were made. They will tell us just a prelim investigation that they will conduct in their own databases to make out what is actually the story in these two schools, where there was budget allocated and there was contractor that was allocated, but there is no difference or real felt change by the learners in these schools.
It's a real shame. But so you say end of business today, Itumeleng. I'm sure our team here at ENCA, the producers, will make contact with you again, see that's actually the case. So Equal Education doing what they can down in the Eastern Cape. Their organiser down in that province for us joining us, Itumeleng Motlhabane. It's the school with 13.7 million rand set aside for the school in Fort Beaufort is actually nothing more than just a zinc structure with a very large foundational slab. Not much has happened since before COVID, but they say end of business today. Promises made by the Eastern Cape Education Department. Of course, our team here at ENCA will stay on that story and follow up later in the day.